Hi guys, in this tutorial we're going to add a new blueprint and we'll see how blueprints allow us to add game logic to our actors. So if you go to content, which is the top level directory, you should be able to see first person BP folder. And this is the first person template project that we've been following so far in this series. So if you go inside, you should be able to see the blueprints folder in which we're going to add a new blueprint. So right click in this content browser and select blueprint class. The one that we want is actor, and for now we're just going to ignore these. So blueprint is like a class, is like Unity prefab or an FXGL entity. It allows us to create a template for actors in our game. And we're going to add a platform template. So I'm going to call my blueprint platform. And if you double click, that will open the blueprint editor. Just going to place it there. And it essentially has this viewport, which is what the thing or the actor looks like, and the event graph, where we're going to add a bit of code or visual code, as it were. So in the viewport, what I want to do is add a component, which is going to be a cube. And I want this cube to be not cube. I want to make a platform out of it. So I can modify its scale values. I'm going to reduce Z scale by this much and maybe increase Y and possibly X. So this looks like a platform that we can use. Now it's often useful to compile and save at the same time because you don't want your work gone. So this is what it's going to look like. In the event graph, that's where we add stuff in terms of what it does. And there are a bunch of things that you can see. Event begin play, begin overlap. In Unity, these are called, I think, on start. In FXGL, this would have been called on active. So you can see that although game engines are different in terms of architecture, they're pretty much the same internally. So we don't need that one. So I'm going to click on that and delete. I don't want this one either. So click on that and delete. Event tick is what we call the on update tick. And this is what we're going to use in order to make this platform do something. And what I want to do with this platform is make it rotate on each update tick. So for that, you'll need to left click on this arrow looking thing and then drag a node over here, which will allow you to add new actions. Let's have a look what we can do. Add local rotation or something along those lines. Add local rotation on the cube. Yep, we could do this, or we could add local rotation on the actor. Let's rotate our actor. So that would be doing this, which you kind of know already from previous tutorials. We covered how to rotate actors using the editor. But now we'll be doing that through Blueprint. The target is self, so it's the actor. Self is like the this pointer in C++ or this in Java. So you're referring to this object in which the code or the blueprint thing resides. And delta rotation is by how much to rotate in each of the axes. And since I want this to rotate like that, this is the Z axis, because Z is up in Unreal Engine. So let's add 5 and C. So we've got compile and save our platform. So I've got our blueprint, which is basically like a class. And now I'm going to instantiate that class or that blueprint. Just raise it a bit so we can see. And let's give that a go. That's pretty cool. It rotates. And that's pretty much what it does, because that's the only thing we added to it in the event graph of that blueprint. Now, if we can, well, we can obviously create another one. This is going to be another instance. And because blueprint is like a class, if you modify the blueprint, you're also modifying every instance of that class. But if you're modifying an instance, that does not modify the blueprint or any other instances. So I can make this thing, for example, smaller. Like that. But they both will still rotate because of the logic that we attached to the blueprint class. Now, a task for you is to try different rotations. So what you could do is set this thing to 0, but set something else to a positive value or a negative value. And that will allow you to rotate the platform in different axes. In the next tutorial, we're going to be adding slightly more complex logic. But for this tutorial, a simple blueprint should be sufficient. Thanks for watching.